Vans is a major shoe retailer founded in 1966 in Southern California. Their shoes can be bought in Vans-specific stores, in other retail stores, and more importantly, for the purposes of this presentation, on their online store. Vans' key value proposition is its offering of premium products with deeply ingrained heritage and also functional in its key focus as a daily sports shoe retailer. Looking into its online channels, Vans utilizes various outsourced and in-house companies in its distribution channel as the product moves from the manufacturing to the end user. Vans UK employs a basic level of e-commerce customer relationship management in its business strategy. This is seen through a loyalty program, and repeat purchasing is rewarded through a newsletter marketing channel. Vans' key activities include sponsorships and events focusing on the sport of skateboarding. While the majority of its customer segment consists of teens and young adults ranging from 14 to 24 years, it effectively targets a wider range of consumers through its association with sports and urban culture. Within its online and physical channel, the major contributor to its revenue stream is its product offering of sports footwear. Other revenue can be accounted for in the profit made from events such as the Warped Tour. As Vans continues to compete in the global marketplace, they utilize information technology to implement strategies, control resources and manufacturing elements, and to evaluate performance. IT-driven databases is crucial in ensuring the success of businesses, and in particular e-businesses such as Vans, in the digital environment. Database marketing has emerged as an IT-based means of maintaining a competitive advantage through the development and retention of customer relationships. Customer Relationship Management Systems, or CRM, provide strategic value to Vans through using information technology to organize, systemize, and coordinate sales data, customer services, technical support, and ultimately marketing strategy. Electronic Customer Relationship Management, or ECRM, has emerged as a recent paradigm of relationship marketing in the e-commerce world. While the use of various individual systems and technologies is crucial to the performance of Vans, the introduction of enterprise resource planning has meant that large firms should not only focus on one type of system or information technology, but are required to utilize multiple systems onto an integrated software. ERP allows Vans to track suppliers and materials in the marketplace and assign for the selection of efficient production methods, utilizing financial data and ultimately gaining a competitive advantage. The amalgamation of human resource management and information technology has created a new take on a traditional business environment, where IT can be strategically used to compare benchmarks, identify performance gaps, and recognize the performance of employees.
An ER diagram is a technique to graphically present entities, and an entity is defined as a thing, place, person, or event that can store and maintain information. In this Vans case, we have chosen product, item, order, customer, payment, and delivery as entities, which we see as necessary events, persons, or things that has to be involved to complete the purchase. You may wonder why supplier or manufacturer doesn't appear as an entity, because someone has to make the shoes, but because Vans manufacture their own shoes, we don't have to have a supplier in our ER diagram. The entities are shown as squares in the diagram. The oval symbols in the diagram are attributes. The attributes are characteristics of the entity it belongs to. In the database, each entity is shown as a relationship table, and the attributes are rows of the tables. Each row contains data on every instance of the table, and an instance is a concrete example of an entity. The primary key of an entity is an attribute that is unique for every instance and is often an ID number. In this case, we have used product ID as primary key for the product entity, item ID for item, order ID for order, customer ID for customer, payment ID for payment, and delivery ID for delivery. The primary key enables identification of instances and all information belonging to that instance. Also, primary key enables us to make relationships between different tables and entities. So, If a primary key appears as an attribute in another entity and table, it's a foreign key in another table.
To begin the process of creating the Microsoft Access database, we translated the ER diagram into different tables on Access. To translate, you need to understand that all entities make up a table, and every attribute belonging to an entity is a category in the table. For our tables, based on the entities, we create a product table, item table, order table, customer table, payment table, and delivery table. As well as the entity tables, we created 4 lookup tables. The reason for doing this is because some items are repetitive and not personalized to each product. You may do this, for instance, if their name may be changed. To quickly and efficiently do this, you add lookup tables. The 4 we added are color, size, product name, and product type. We have included examples of both the design view and database view for a normal entity table and a lookup table. In order to complete a database, you need to make relationships. You can create a relationship by adding all of your tables to use the Relationship Edit page. Outside of the ER diagram entity tables, we also added the lookup tables. To create a relationship, you drag the primary key to what entity is related to its foreign key. From there, we will create multiple one-to-many relationships. It is important to point out that when connecting the relationship, you need to check the boxes for enforcing referential integrity, to make sure that a new value entered in a foreign key column applies to an existing value in the related primary key column. You will then check the box that says Cascade Update Related Fields box. This sets it so you can update a primary record that in turn updates all related records in one move and saves a lot of time. The relationships that we have made coincide with our ER diagram as well as our lookup tables. We related product to item via the primary ID primary key in product to the foreign key with the same name in item. Item ID primary key was relayed to the foreign key item ID in order to make a relationship. Then we connected customer to order via the primary key customer ID in customer to its foreign key in order. Payment is connected to customer also via the customer ID primary key in customer and foreign ID in payment. The last relationship in entities is via order and delivery ID primary key to the foreign key in order. Our last relationships are made with the lookup tables that are all connected to customer. The primary keys all begin in their lookup table with color, size, product type, and product name attached to their foreign key and customer entity. When people go to shop online, part of what they are doing is researching a product. 64% of the UK population, according to the European Commission, have researched a product or service. Many people research what they are going to buy before they are going to buy it, and one way of doing this is by reading other people's reviews of a product. Vans has not introduced a product review to their website yet, but according to a review, they could have an average of an 18% increase in sales, as has been seen by other companies that added reviews. When you go into a store that you cannot get user reviews of products, you do not know how people have found it to be. But if you were to go online and find reviews, you may see more positive reviews and therefore be more likely to purchase the product. As well as increasing their sales, this can provide feedback to Vans on what they need to alternate about their products. If the company is receiving negative reviews, they can utilize the information from the reviews to adjust its products to better fit what customers want. Or they can get positive reviews and adjust those to create more products to reflect the positive reviews. It is good to have a mix of good and bad reviews because it instills trust in the consumer that the company is not lying to them and deleting either bad reviews or creating the reviews themselves. In fact, 68% of consumers trust reviews more when they see a variety of scores, good and bad, while 30% suspect censorship or falsified reviews when they don't see any negative opinions on the page at all. Vans can get people to review their products after their purchase and when they have gotten a little bit of time to form their own opinion by sending an email asking for that opinion of the product. In the email, a link would direct them to the review site of the product that they purchased.
Using the database we have now created in Microsoft Access, we can easily obtain the information stored in the database by creating a query in SQL or structured query language. To create a query in Microsoft Access, we have the option of entering the commands that will allow us to retrieve data from any table we want. A simple way of putting it would be to say that we are asking the database a question, so therefore we must determine a question that we would like to ask the database. For example, a customer wants a pair of women's black classic slip-on shoes in size 8. Here we can see a graphic of what this order customization would look like on the Vans online shop. For Vans to find this specific product from their warehouse, if the customer orders it, they would subsequently need to identify the unique product number of this item. This can be retrieved from the database using the following SQL code in Microsoft Access.